Hey, I want to take a moment today to address something that came up in one of my live chats the other night. In my chat, someone asked me why I hate 1911s. Well, I don't know where they get that. I don't hate 1911s. I think 1911s are one of the greatest gun designs in the last 150 years, and I think they're still pretty relevant today even. I actually like them. I actually own a few of them. I even own a couple of clone 1911 clones. And if you can't tell the difference between a modern production 1911 and a clone these days, I actually have a video on that. I'll put it in one of these corners up here, a link to it so you can go check out how to tell a clone 1911, a true 1911 from a clone. But that aside, I don't hate 1911s. I think they're amazing. I just don't like the caliber. I'm not a big fan of 45 ACP. Now, I'm not one of these channels that will engage in hyperbole or hyperbole. How do you pronounce it? I've never been sure how you pronounce that word. I've always said hyperbole, but some people say hyperbole. But either way, I don't like to speak in absolutes. I think it makes someone look ignorant. So I'll just say 45 ACP is 100% totally useless. It is the worst caliber on the market today. And that little sound you just heard when I said that, that's all the 45 lovers out there getting so angry that they clenched their assholes so tight their catheter shot off and pinged off the side of their walker. But that aside, you know, and it's not really the worst caliber ever. It's just, it's not the best at anything. It's a good all-around caliber, but you can't find any category where it's best at other than slowest and fattest, I guess. You know, we always have to add that category. I think they add that category into all like children's sports now too, just so someone can get a trophy in that. But I like 1911s. I'm just not crazy about 45s. Now, I know 1911 started coming out in 9mm not too long ago, and that kind of revitalized the 1911 for a little while. But come on, let's face it, how many men out there with vaginas are actually going to buy the 9mm? So once all those guys bought 1911s, that craze kind of died down a little bit. And I hope that doesn't offend any of the men with vaginas. I'm not making a value judgment about your vagina. So don't come at me like, oh, you're being sexist. I'm just saying, if you have a 1911 that's in 9mm and you're a man, you probably actually have a vagina. But take that as you want. Like I said, not a value judgment. So, you know, the 9mm didn't really bring the 1911 back into too much prevalence, I guess I would say, in the carry gun community, even though it did boost it a little bit. But still, these days, 1911s aren't carried very much. If you compare them like Glocks and SIGs and other polymer guns, you know, they're probably carried like about that much. So I think, though, that they are on the cusp of becoming far more relevant than they've been in many years. And it's because of the 10mm coming back. Now, we all know 10mm came, then it went, and now it's coming back again. We came, went, come back again. Sounds like the story of my life. As long as there was $20 exchange somewhere in there, that'd be the story of my life. But it came, and it was a great round. But then they got rid of it because they said, you know, it's too powerful, it's too snappy, most people can't handle it. What they really meant is, hey, most of these little policy nerds and 90-pound females that we've been forced to take into the FBI and law enforcement can't handle the round. And hopefully that didn't offend anyone out there either. But once again, not a value judgment, just a statement. But they couldn't handle that round, so they kind of cut it down. That's how we got to 40. But a lot of people now have started realizing, hey, the round really isn't too powerful. It's just powerful enough. It's actually kind of an awesome round, even if those people couldn't handle it. So it's kind of coming back quite a bit, especially in the civilian market. And I think marrying the 10mm with the 1911 is like the best way to make the 1911 more useful, and I think it's the perfect vehicle for the 10mm. I've always said if I was going to carry a 10mm, which I don't carry a 10mm, I own a few, but I don't carry them because, you know, like I said, once again, don't want to engage in hyperbole, but I carry the far superior round, the best round in the entire world, the 357 Magnum. And if you don't believe me, just watch some of my other videos. I'll tell you the same thing. But I don't carry the 10mm, but if I did, I've always said if I carried 10mm, it would be a 1911. And if I carried a 1911, it would have to be 10mm. So those two things have been coming together quite a bit lately. Now, the only thing I wish they would do is instead of being offered mostly in 5-inch barrels and even longer, I wish they would offer some in like the 4 1/4, like, you know, the commander size barrel, so they'd be more carryable. And I wish they would put some more things on them, like the optics, like the reflex dot sights and stuff. I wish they would get those a little sturdier to where they can handle the 10mm round. Because if you could get a gun that's a 1911 format, chambered in 10mm with a 4 1/4 inch barrel and a red dot sight on it, I think you'd have awesome carry gun. I think 1911s would be starting to be carried by more people if they had that combination. I know I would even consider carrying one if they had that combination, and 357s were sold out everywhere in the world forever. But other than that, I think that's what could make the 1911 even more relevant than it's been for the last 100 and something years. So I don't hate 1911. I actually like them a lot. And no, I don't hate 10 millimeters. I just think 357 Magnum is better. But when you take 10 millimeter, 1911, and put it together, I think you have the old and the new coming together to make a perfect carry combination. So no, I don't hate 1911s. I actually like them a lot, and I'm liking them a lot more now that they're being chambered in a usable round like the 10 millimeter, and I hope to see more of it in the future.